Hello and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to look at Max0r's Baldur's Gate 3 review. I didn't notice when this one came out somehow. I missed it. But now I'm back and I'm watching it. I've got my sword with me here because it feels appropriate for a D&D game, essentially. So I'm looking forward to this. I like Max0r. I think he's a lot of fun. And this game I haven't played, but I do know some about it, and I understand like the concepts of this game more than I do of a lot of the other games that I have seen him review. So I might actually have something to say about it. I do want to give a quick shout out to a couple of channel members. So thanks to Abe, thanks to Timothy Lucas, thanks to Tyrant Den, thanks to Captain Kid 220, and to No Consequence. Really appreciate you all. Thank you for being channel members. We really wouldn't be able to do most of this stuff without you as members. And you know, if you can't be a member right now, we do understand. We appreciate you anyway, but make sure you leave a like, comment on the video. Those things do help as well. And I don't have anything else to start with here. I'm ready to see what Max0r has to say about Baldur's Gate 3.
Going to spoil the entire game.
That's okay. Okay. Oh, I love his little it spoils the entire game. I also like his little warning here. All my videos are really fast and I want you to be alive. This contains flashing lights.
Baldur's Gate 3 is possibly the funniest game ever made, and I do not think it actually intends to be.
That also
it's
tracks.
trying to be really gay, taking place in a fantasy
Is
world
it?
where 4 adult friends are able to play on the same day. This game faithfully and hilariously recreates the D&D experience, all the way down to
the most unrealistic part of it all, for adults being able to combine their schedules into one and be able to play for a couple of hours.
watching your friends paint the entire ground of their camp with your combustible blood, which
Nice.
turns out can act as the fuse for a bomb. And that is just the beginning of the
Amazing.
absolute insanity that this game has to offer. Because in the world of Baldur's Gate, anything is possible, and everything is determined via dice roll. And yes, that does determine whether or not you're going to be transformed into cats 4 turns before the building explodes.
Nice.
I think this
Someone tripped a wild mage spell. It sounds like there. With like, if you're gonna.
is the best game ever made, and I'm not even exaggerating. But before beginning our amazing adventures, we have to choose our characters very carefully. We've got Astarion, the Dark Urge, Squid Game Huggy Wuggy, all the customization you can think of for my human male fighter. But today, we're going to be playing as Ongyat Rizking, a they-them wild magic sorcerer with absolutely...
There it is, the wild magic. That'll do it. Wild magic is great in D&D. It's so fucking funny. Because again, you roll the die and like maybe sometimes you turn into a plant for a round. It's like literally like anything can happen. It's absolutely crazy.
Unnatural charisma. Charisma so powerful that I convinced a boss to kill his minions, to kill his dog, to kill himself. Then convinced him to join me against the forces of Satan 30 hours after I sent him to hell. Coincidentally, Ongyat Rizking is not a smart man. My playthrough was classified as...
Absolutely not. If you're gonna be high whiz, you gotta be low int. that is 100% how that works every single time. At least that's how it happened in my D&D group. We're all very high whiz. All of us are crazy charismatic. We're great at persuasion and insight and all no one can lie to me because I have a specific ability that basically allows me to treat any roll on an insight check as less than an 8 as an 8, and then I add 12 or something to it. Ridiculous. But not a single one of us has any positive intelligence. At least one of us has a negative in intelligence, and it's just like, we can't investigate, we can't check for traps, we can't like... We can't find anything specific. It's bad.
It's morally ambiguous because I usually did the right thing very badly. You're probably wondering right about now, Max0r, why are you speaking to a sentient rat in hell? That is a good question
fun.
with a very bad answer. I thought it would be really funny to sell my soul to Lucifer and then break into his house, kill his incubus that he uses to have sex with himself, steal my soul back along with everything worth money, which is the real reason that I'm here, make a break for it just in time to get caught, and be forced to kill Satan, who, by the way, has 666 HP and sings about how he's going to kill you like a Disney villain. Was this the ethical course of action? Maybe, but in retrospect, I did not think I would get caught. So, on top of his immaculate Riz and dubious ethical success, the most important detail of On God Riz King is that he is a wild magic sorcerer, which is definitely a class to choose. Imagine for a moment that you and your 20 allies are trying to push past a narrow corridor when me and the fellas cast a swarm of bees, black tentacles, and a...
It's like the egg bars, black tentacles or something. The only thing I can think of right now is Adventure Zone, and Taco, the wizard, uses eobards or whatever, black tentacles to to tentacle the bad guy's dick. I'm gonna tentacle your dick. It was... Anyway, D&D's a fun game.
Goopy fart cloud, which kills your entire team before you are able to see anything. I call this strategy the fucked up hentai. Now, if that was to hypothetically happen, you would theoretically accuse me of a lot of bullshit, to which I would respond with, yes, officer, I did just disintegrate that child. And what's more, I have committed crimes you can't even charge me for. Say hello to the spell Feign Death, which works by placing your allies into a coma. This, I would argue, is not a very useful spell. But if I were to say, give all my money away to a lucky merchant, then he would trust me enough to initiate nap time. And after carefully concealing my presence in a conspicuous dark blob, I will be able to
Yes,
steal
very
my money
sneaky.
back plus interest. And what's more, I get a fucking discount next time I show up. Is combat requiring just a little too much thought? Are you perhaps getting tired of taking any damage?
The only reason I can think of to use a spell, there's two. There's two reasons I can think of to use a spell that puts your ally into a coma. One is if you need to sneak into a morgue, and the other is if you're fighting something that will only attack you if you're alive. You know, like, it will lose interest in you if you seem to be dead. So if you got someone who's like really low on hit points and isn't going to survive another hit, and you don't have any healing spells or potions or anything, put that spell on them. Now they collapse. They can't help out anymore in the fight, but also they won't die.
And my friend, look no further than the Globe of Invulnerability, which does
Ooh.
exactly what you think it does a little too well. The only caveat being that the invulnerability happens to work on enemies, and they tend to see invulnerability as an advantage.
Yeah, maybe.
Literally every fight that I use it in devolves into the funny friendship circle. Say, for instance, that you are an enemy whose entire purpose is to explode yourself. If you happen to wander into the Orb of Comedy, you would be forced to unsuccessfully activate your bomb vest 20 times in a row, hoping and praying for a death that I cannot provide you. Honestly, if you're creative enough, you don't even have to play most combat encounters. I once fought a boss that began every fight by instantly killing me. Now, most normal people in this situation would reload the game, try some other quests, literally.
Yeah, build up, get up your level, you know? Level up! If you're level 3, don't fight level 18s.
Anything that uses your brain. But I am not normal people. I'm autistic. How else do you think this video gets made? The neurotypicals couldn't do this shit. So
No,
instead,
I
we
don't
are
think
going
they
to
could.
cleverly sneak up on him with my entire party, then cast fear on him, forcing the men to flee while me and the fellas beat him to death with hammers. Another
Nice.
time, I was stuck in a difficult combat encounter with a invincible doom spider, at which point I transformed him into a more reasonable animal and forgot about him for the rest of the fight.
Amazing.
Magic doesn't always have to be used for combat or stealing. Sometimes it can be used for productive things, like
What?
remote detonation. Imagine for a moment
Yay.
that you were tasked with solving a murder because the elephant police are being racist. Not against non-elephants, mind you, just immigrants. My guy is a reactionary ranch soda. You would be able to quickly
What?
resolve this situation.
What is
by
that thing?
Performing necromancy and asking the murder victim who killed them. Alternatively, if I wanted to say,
Oh yeah, that is a fun spell. If you saw the D&D movie, you do know that there's certain spells that allow you to reanimate the dead and ask them like 5 questions or 3 questions. It depends on the spell and your level and stuff. But yes, you can in fact ask them a couple of questions. I've seen it used to great comedic effect, and there's always at least one question that's Like, it's like, damn it, why would you do that?
Kill everyone in the goblin camp without conventional methods, I can simply cast Speak with Animals and gently convince the local spiders to begin an arachnid race war. In fact,
wow,
you can use this on
that's
any
pretty cool,
animal in the
actually.
game, including threatening rats into revealing their cheese location, or the cat that narrates like a noir detective. Although I do think it is
Nice.
very strange that I don't have to cast it before speaking to gnomes. But honestly, out of all the magical items you can obtain in this game, my favorite was definitely the Gamer Sup's energy drinks, because it gives my character enough energy to leap 50 feet through the air and take extra actions per turn. It gets mailed to you as this cool alchemy powder so you can save on gold and craft it into useful consumables. Gamer Sup's has all kinds of cool spells like Grandpa's Ashes, Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, and my personal favorite, Lean. These are actual flavor names. We're also working on getting you guys an official Max0r cup.
Ooh.
This is not the official Max0r cup. I would put boobs on it. But if you want
Yeah,
other cups
boobies.
with boobs on them, you can find the shop for them here in Description Alley, right next to the subscribe store. And use code Max0r for 10% off all spells. I am not responsible for what comes after.
Fair.
See, that's what he's talking about.
Wizard Baltimore. Good morning, Baltimore.
Spread your ass open, dude. You can do the rump shaker, huh?
Dude, this car kicks ass, and I can watch Madagascar while I'm driving. Ass.
Jesus fucking Christ. Just
Yeah,
saw a
get
wizard
that
and
squirrel.
duel outside Walgreens. One wizard cast a bullet at the other and stole his magical herbs. Turns out Gale wasn't actually a crip. Or maybe now he is. Wizarding life truly is amazing out here in Pennsylvania. Because when you join the Wild Magic Gang, you aren't just making a character. You're making a mistake. Wild magic sorcerers have
Fair.
a random chance to select an effect from a list of 100. As long as you install the mod that adds 80. Every spell my character
Oh, okay, yeah, I feel like usually in the game, in D&D rather, it's always a 100, which means that you do have to use a computer. Or you could use 2d10, I guess. And then like, I think that's sometimes how people do it, is they use 2d10 and then they take the first number and the second number. But yeah, it's at least in the real, like the tabletop game, it's always a D100. You don't have to add a mod.
cast was a guarantee that something will happen, and whether or not I wanted that to happen is a different story entirely.
Yup.
Consider the scenario.
Like I said, definitely seen it happen where someone turned into a plant in the middle of a battle. It's like the improbability drive on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's like there's like anything can happen. Like like anything at all. Sometimes you grow 2 inches, or shrink, and then that's permanent. That doesn't undo unless you hit the number that makes it undo. Like it's wild.
Scenario that you and your heroic party are desperately trying to escape an underwater prison. And no, this time it wasn't for bestiality. It was for hate crimes. You have 5 turns to escape before your character reenacts the Titanic. This is when you make the critical mistake of casting a spell, which triggers the random effect of lock all doors, magically transforming this exploding prison into an exploding coffin. That is a reload. Or how about the time that I was tasked with holding onto a torch under penalty of death, whereupon the game decided that it would be really funny if I was banished to another dimension, because it would be even funnier if I happened to reload the game and immediately get petrified. Okay, look, I am exaggerating a little bit here.
Yep.
After all,
No.
the chances of you transforming into an ovine on your 3rd try would be pretty low.
It can happen though.
Of course, wild magic doesn't always have to ruin the game. Sometimes it can do really helpful things, like permanently inflict my character with the Clown Curse, which is, by every metric, an objective upgrade. I had an emotional cutscene after I got this, and I'm sure it made everyone feel better. Here we have to fight with the giant robot, where I accidentally transformed myself into a cheese wheel. This gives us all kinds of new abilities, like cheesy smell, which would be really good if, the robots could smell. Now, due to the obvious limitations of my class, Baldur's Gate 3 provides a myriad of options for customization, leveling, and companions, who, by the way, can be respec'd into any other class, making strategies like the 4-man gambling squad and Jurassic Park completely possible but not exactly viable. Personally, I find it completely bullshit that I do not get an intimidation bonus for walking into the bank with 3 fucking velociraptors.
You
Like,
really
Do you
should.
see this very often? So, to
In a again, something like this, I think in a proper game, you could make a case to the DM that you should get advantage on an intimidation check. You might totally fail that intimidation check still, but you could make the case to most reasonable DMs. It's like, I got a freaking velociraptor here. Shouldn't I have advantage on my intimidation roll? But that's something you have to think about too. That's not something that would just automatically happen. That would be something that you have to like talk to them about.
To get at the true heart of the Baldur's Gate 3 experience, we have to make some friends and eventually have sex with most of them. Honestly, it's pretty easy to forget that this game has combat. Personally, though, I didn't get with
Do you have to? I thought that was just a choice you could make.
any of them. Mostly because I can't show it, but also because I was interested in a more acquired taste. That's right, baby. Gay sex with Squidward. I always dreamed of touching those Squidward tentacles as I played his clarinet. Also, if you don't
can
have sex with anyone,
Have sex with the mind flayer?
the camp skeleton just insults you for having no bitches.
And thus thou art alone.
Shadowheart, more affectionately referred to as Shart, is a cleric of Shar that I spent the entire game gaslighting into a religious fundamentalist. Then, as soon as that became slightly inconvenient, beat her to death with my entire party so badly that I could not revive the body for round 2. Now, Shadowheart could have survived if I actually trusted her, but unfortunately, she is a white woman. And I don't trust those.
Fair.
Gale is an aggressively bisexual
That's
wizard
fair.
with a nuclear bomb inside of his chest. And, it wants me defeated boots. Now, Gale claims this is because of his relationship with an actual goddess, but I don't believe him. Not because that's completely insane, but because I've seen how Gale behaves around me. This motherfucker is gay. And since I've covered all this game's wacky and funny spells, I decided that I was going to respec Gale into a barbarian and give him a gun. This wizard may be out of spells, but he is not out of shells.
Nice.
Is a daring and noble warlock who is constantly told what to do and treated like a dog by a demon girl. So I don't understand why he doesn't enjoy that. This game's writing is unrealistic. Lae'zel is a Githyanki fighter who, within 3 seconds of speaking to her, made me decide that yes, I am going to do a racist character today. And over the course of our adventure, Lae'zel surprised and shocked me by never failing to prove my racism correct. Asterion is a... Sorry,
Vampire,
I
right?
told that line. Asterion is a devilishly handsome rogue that specializes in giving enemies the devious backshots. This is mostly because Asterion
Nice.
happens to be a literal vampire, which
Yeah, he
becomes
is.
relevant when I sacrifice 7,000 children to him to create the ultimate life form. I promise the scene isn't gay. Unfortunately, this did basically nothing as Asterion proceeded to walk down the hall and get his ass beat to death with hammers. Because out of all the abilities our sacrifice could have given us, Asterion had graciously received the power to continue being useless. Though, to be fair to Asterion, no ultimate vampire twink is going to kill 5 full-blood Texans on their 5th Modelo. And Carlac.
Fair. I heard that Asterion has like a really tragic backstory. Don't like a bunch of... Doesn't he like want to be with her or something? She's like some demon lady he wants to be with, I think. I don't know. I've seen some like stuff about Baldur's Gate, and most of it it's a kind of because I haven't paid that much attention to it, and there's a lot of names, and I'm like, I don't know who they are, but I've definitely seen things on Tumblr. So who knows how much of that is accurate? None of it is. It's Tumblr. Nothing's accurate on Tumblr. Everything's gay.
Is a very hot barbarian that I use throughout the game as a punching bag. One time, Carlac...
That is the point. That is the point of the barbarian in the group. You need someone who can take all the punches so you can sneak up behind them and stab them in the back. This is what you'll need to do. Chink. Stab, stab.
got so mad that she randomly destroyed every box in a 10-meter radius, repeatedly setting the entire party on fire until we fucking died. It was at this moment I decided that Carlac was going to be the one to disarm every trap in the game for me.
Yeah!
Make sure to grab
Nice.
the treasures, Carlac. With our powers combined, we are the world's shittiest polycule.
Fair.
We're having so much fun without Shadowheart. So, as the world's shittiest polycule, it naturally falls to us to combat the forces of Big Straight and stop the Squidward ethno-state. Mostly by accident, because if there's one thing that motivates me more than protecting my potential investments, it is stealing from them. Yes, sir, it is certainly bad if the only bank in the city gets robbed. But don't worry, I've conducted a thorough investigation in my camp, and I have found no evidence of wrongdoing. Quests in Baldur's Gate 3 are, for lack of a better term, fucking insane, both in their scope and in content. Mostly the content, with multiple contingencies for failure, partial success, or the classic unrestricted Japanese war crimes. Truly, the sky is the limit in Baldur's Gate, and the only thing preventing you from achieving your dreams are the consequences of your actions. If, for instance, you were to ride the calamari carousel, a future character will roast you for your crimes against God in front of your friends. Your choices matter in Baldur's Gate 3. One time, I decided to visit the circus so I could piss off the local genie so badly that he sends me to Jurassic Park. But that's not important right now. Exploring the non-insane part of the circus, we find ourselves enraptured by the performance of Dribbles the Clown. The only problem being that while investigating a series of murders by shapeshifters, I had already met Dribbles the Clown, and I was carrying his severed torso in my inventory. Safekeeping. So, despite knowing the identity of my gang stalkers, I decided to send Astarion to the stage anyways, mainly because I thought it would be funny. And I was not disappointed. This guy should open a YouTube channel where he promotes an energy drink he intentionally poisons. Now, you're gonna want to be careful after doing this quest, because unbeknownst to you, one of your crewmates has been replaced by an imposter.
Ooh.
And worst of all, I am kind of into this. Can you shapeshift yourself pregnant? So, whether you know it or not, you are going to be playing Among Us for the next 10 hours.
Wow.
And honestly, playing as the imposter is so much more fun, which is why, instead of stopping the killings, I decided that I was going to do them myself, and eventually join the blood cult by bathing in the blood of the racist elephant to bring about a new future of crimson despair. Shapeshifters are usually multiracial, by definition. What I'm trying to say with these long anecdotes is that you never just go to the circus in this game, or God forbid, speak to a clown. Though you are watching this YouTube video, which is close. Repost.
He's self-aware. I love it. Also, people have been telling me I need to play this game. Like people in my life. I think I need to. How much is it? I might play
You
it.
want to nail a porcupine to your neighbor's balls.
Give me the thug shaker, dude. Shake your ass. Take your hands off it and shake that shit.
Animals are so fucking funny!
Welcome to the first major dungeon of the game, appropriately named Central London. And like the actual London, it is unfortunately filled with the English. You can really tell because you can't understand anyone and the food is inedible. It is here that Baldur's Gate really shines as a game where you can do almost anything, and an unlucky developer will be forced to code it. There are 3 targets for you to kill in the Goblin Camp, or if you're bad enough, several dozen, each with their own personalities, weaknesses, and premium cheese strategies. Needless to say, this channel is not going to offer you any good advice. After all, there's a lot of guide videos for this game alongside race tier lists. So, while I'm not going to be sorting you by phenotype, what I can give you is a taste of the premium cheddar. Okay, so you're gonna
He
want
likes
to start
those
out
lips.
by going invisible and placing a wyvern toxin into the Kool-Aid. Then lead a toast by declaring that we are going to drink until we die. Make sure that Astarion is the one to do it, by the way. We don't need him anymore. Heading inside, we take care of our first target by following her to a secluded location, summoning a cloud of daggers, and then initiating verbal exchange, locking her into our conversation while she is slowly stabbed to death. This
Very
isn't
nice.
considered a crime, by the way, because, well, they can just walk out. Just don't hit a piece of wood while you're doing that.
Yes, I think it's probably one of those things that they have to roll high enough to walk out, though, like a dex check or something. I think that's what it is for, like, ensnaring strike or like Wall of Thorns. You have to I think Wall of Thorns is a strength check. You can evade things with a dex check. And because my character is a rogue, I can use evasion also, so I don't even have to do a dex check. I can just get away without getting hurt from things like that, which is very nice. But I think for a lot of those things, it's a strength. You have to hit a certain strength check. to leave, which can suck, especially if you're in a party like mine and everyone put all of their points into wisdom and nothing into anything else.
Because then, you're not going to be killed for assault. You're going to be killed for destruction of property. The next trick we're going to do is called Minthara's Skip, because we are going to be summoning a random spectator to skip to the end of Minthara's life. Just pray to God that she doesn't go down easily, because the spectator certainly won't. Finally, we have our third target, Dror Razglin, who is slightly hard to kill the conventional way. So instead of that, we're going to do something significantly harder. I know, really original strategy, Max.
Animals are so fucking funny, they make me want to...
Welcome to the Underdark, home of the spectator boss fight. Because yes,
Yep.
in addition
Hi,
to having
Beholder.
a giant underground area filled with interesting flora and fauna, Baldur's Gate 3 dares to ask the question of, what if people in the Underdark had a different skin color to me? And completely unrelated to that, what if there was a lot of slavery? Because it is this very slavery that we are going to take advantage of. Immediately upon entering the world's basement, you're gonna want to head over to the Mushroom Kingdom, and you're gonna get a letter telling you that the princess is now a permanent guest at one of Bowser's 7 Koopa hotels. Talking to the
Sounds
giant
right.
mushroom, you're gonna have to explain to him how reanimating the bodies of dead velociraptors is technically not a war crime, but what I'm going to use them for is definitely a war crime. And after playing a game of Pokemon with the corpses that your enemies reanimated, we steal their boats and progress down the river towards the Iron Fortress of Grimforge. This place fucking sucks dick. I'm gonna kill myself.
Sounds like bad.
Welcome to Grimforge, home to many different kinds of people, whether they're enslaved or enslaving. You really only have 2 options here in the Grimforge. Eavesdropping in on the local Minecraft Let's Play. We overhear rumors of an ancient and powerful explosive, which will purchase my child labor at least 30 minutes of Roblox time. And after gently ascertaining the location from their bodies, we carefully confiscate the nuclear weapon using a refined negotiation tactic where I lie to them. Now equipped with the most powerful bomb in the game, we are presented with a choice. We can either use this bomb to help the gnome slaves finally achieve their freedom, or we can use it to kill Dror Razglin.
And I can watch Madagascar.
So, going back to the goblin camp, we discover through some experimentation that Dror Razglin doesn't actually die to the bomb that I just placed. So, into the hole you go, I guess. And that is how you quickly and efficiently speedrun the goblin camp. Make sure to subscribe for more convenient time saves.
Okay.
Peter, what are you doing? Wow. What the fuck?
Okay, so the point I'm trying to get across, really badly, is that this game is utterly massive, and it absolutely does not stop you from destroying it. Because in Baldur's Gate 3, every single mistake you can possibly make is going to come up again. And most of the
Sounds
time,
right.
it is in the form of racial conflict. For instance, do you want to be a good Samaritan and free the Deep Gnomes from their unjust imprisonment? Well, congratulations. You just happened to free the Deep Gnome clan's Grand Wizard. I hope you're ready for a race war in 20 hours. Because if you happen to misplace a certain bomb, then he's going to happen to make Hiroshima look like a fucking joke. Personally, this kind of stuff is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Not the racism part, although that is still funny, but rather the simple joy of knowing that your save file has probably already been destroyed without you even knowing it. Since beginning the long process of making this video, I have made a multiplayer warlock named Risley Bear, alongside my friends Reese and Nomer Simpson. And after playing for approximately 10 minutes, I can confirm that my first character inadvertently killed almost everyone he spoke to, and about half of the time, the reverse was true. A good example of this is the time that I just so happened to wander my character into a literal god, who then offered me a pivotal and important quest, prompting me to raise the reasonable inquiry that if she was a god, surely she would be able to kill anyone she wanted. She responded by fucking vaporizing me. Overall, this is, in every sense of the word, a role-playing game, provided, of course, you want to roleplay as a dumbass murder goblin. Otherwise, why do you even play video games? We blow shit up in this motherfucker. Better take your sensitive ass back to LinkedIn. With scores of amazing and deep content that I unintentionally locked myself out of because we accidentally killed a man named Bingus Bongus. Rip to a fucking real one. Strategic and complicated combat. And an entire world of possibilities and solutions, which will leave you wondering, How the fuck am I allowed to do this? Is this glitch or intended behavior? Yes. So, while I didn't get to cover everything since, I'm only human, you can trust me when I say that there is something in this game for everybody. 10 out of 10. Would unleash Gnome Hitler again. For me though, I would like to thank all of my amazing patrons, using and sacrificing their funding for only the finest of video game content. As always, more deranged gacha game videos to come. I will be sure to spend all of your money very responsibly. Oh yeah, this video is about Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. That was fun. I enjoyed it. I might have to actually look up and see how much Baldur's Gate currently costs. I was like, what month is it? You know, just for funsies. I think I would play a game for real and then like also like maybe have like 2 games running, you know, where I'd play one for real and one where I just play a murder hobo and just chaos everywhere. I think that could be fun. Like make all the worst choices every single time. That could be fun. Anyway. Ooh, I could bring out Grandmother Nona. I have this great character that I have in my brain that I would like to play at some point. She is like a 300-year-old gnome grandma. She is called Grandma Nona. She does know that Nona means grandma. It is a joke that she is doing on purpose. She does make everyone call her this in her family. Just for fun. Her main enemy is the new wife of one of the nephews. She gets into adventuring because her granddaughter does. She needs to go get her back because that girl is not ready to be an adventurer. She's wonderful. Anyway, she could be my chaos lady. Let's bring her in. Just why are we doing this? I don't care about any of this. That could be funny. Anyway, irrelevant. Doesn't matter. I'm looking forward to posting this. Actually, this one seems like a lot of fun. Like I said, I think I might want to play this one because everyone keeps telling me I should. So that was Baldur's Gate 3 review by Max0r. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.